Well, our favorite lyrical poet has done it again. Let's talk about Oliver Anthony's latest hit, Cowboys and Sunsets, on Azimuth Podcast. I'm Kimberly McNabb, and with me is Barrett McNabb.
Yeah, Kimberly, I tell you what, when we saw this new song come out and new video, we were giddy because obviously, just like you, we love this guy, and we really want to bring you some of his newest music. And so let's go ahead and take a listen.
In my mind, it's 1990 something, and I'm young, I'm wild, and I'm free, and I don't care where time takes me. It can never take that from me. If I go missing, don't bother looking. I'm probably just right in the way. 'Cause cowboys and sunsets, you can always count on them, but never to stay. I guess I'm a cowboy, 'cause there's a sun set on the way.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just the first line got me, or the first part, young and wild and free. I mean, come on, most of us at least have felt that in our childhood. I mean, I remember being lost out in the woods, kind of like that, and not having, homework or parents telling you to do something, and you can just walk through the woods and observe. And yeah, time can't take that memory away from you.
Yeah, he's considerably younger than I am, so 1990 something is when he's a kid, right? And for me, I was the late 70s, early 80s as the same age as a kid. So I vividly still remember getting my big wheel and or upgrading to a bicycle and going around the neighborhood with my friends and going into the woods and pulling honeysuckle off fences and catching fireflies and doing that stuff and not
the
going
year
home.
Didn't matter in that case.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, it's the same memory, and obviously his kind of tortured past, where he had drug and alcohol addiction and had some significant emotional issues that he's since taken care of, but still, I would say that this is all pre his troubles, right? Mm-hmm. And so he remembers as a grown up and as an adult what it was like to be free and to not have any worries as a child.
Right. I looked up some of the YouTube comments just to kind of get an idea of what to talk about.
Sure.
And probably one of the longest bits was, "I'm probably just riding the wind," as if you look up the lyrics, the text version. But other people commented like, "Oh, I thought he said right in the way," which, okay, if you're trying to find someone but they don't really want to be found, they could get in the way.
Right.
Like, may not always find what you're looking for. Another commenter commented like riding away, which also makes sense because if you're a cowboy, you can do that.
Right. You can ride away into the sunset. In fact, I'm pretty sure that's exactly how every Western movie ends, is the protagonist on a horse riding into the sunset. I think that's exactly how every legitimate Western ends. So that makes a lot of sense. But let's keep going.
I don't know where I'm going. I guess some things, they never change. I just like to find where the wind blows and the people, they ain't so damn strange. If I go missing, well, don't bother looking. I'm probably just right in the way. 'Cause cowboys and sunsets, you can always count on them, but never to stay. I guess I'm a cowboy, 'cause there's a sunset on the way.
The soulfulness is still there. Obviously, we still see his dogs.
Right.
He's still out. He's getting a lot of production value with zooming in and out, a focus on the foreground, the midground, and then the background. So I think it's really cool that he's doing that. But it's just that soulfulness that he has that we all kind of long for.
Well, he also says a lot of relatable things.
Right.
Like, I don't know where I'm going. Well, I mean, a lot of us feel that way
I
a
still
lot of
don't
the
know where I'm
time. And I guess some things never change, meaning I never know where I'm going. I'm like, oh, goodness. Is he talking about me there? I don't know. But he also says, where the wind blows. Well, my first sarcastic thought is, where doesn't the wind blow?
Right.
And I think he just wants a sense of like, hey, I know what to expect, because in this crazy world that we live in, if you read the news at all, you're like, I didn't see that coming. Like, you just want some stability.
Yeah, I see that as well. I also see it, if you could imagine if you were a balloon, or if you were a bird, or you were a kite, you're kind of at the mercy of the wind. Right. And so it's blowing you around. It almost kind of reminds me a movie that was, I think, in the 2000s, American Beauty, had Kevin Spacey as a lead actor, and a couple other people. But the next door neighbor was a big photography buff, and he, I think, and a movie buff as well. And he took a lot of film of this plastic bag caught in a vortex in between two buildings, and it just sat there and spun and spun and spun, and he's talking to the next door neighbor girl, and she's saying, what do you see? And he says, I see beauty in this bag just spinning around. And this is kind of the same thing. If you're a balloon or you're a kite, and you're flying through the wind, and the wind is really just, you're just riding on the wind. And how's your outlook going to be as you're along for the ride? And that's kind of what I thought about when I saw this and was talking about the wind, that bag scene from American Beauty.
I think that might be a good way to describe like the Cowboys riding off, just the in general, speaking of the song.
Yeah, the interesting thing on when I said earlier about cowboys riding off into the sunset, usually, again, it's the protagonist on the by and by, but usually it's after some mission or good deed has been finished, right? For these movies, and so the bad guys are taking over the town and burning crops, and the protagonist, the good guy, comes in and shoots them all dead, and the town is thankful, and we want you to stay and be the mayor. Nope, I got to keep moving. And so most of that time, when you're seeing that riding off in the sunset, is because something good has been done prior to that. And I think, looking at his life, having him say something good has been done and I'm continuing on my journey, it's a powerful imagery. Yeah. So we're going to keep going, because there's some of the melody that's still left. Yeah, I love this song, especially for its simplicity.
Right.
Right, and that's the vast majority of his music is it's he has one instrument. Now, obviously, we've seen him touring in concert on video. We haven't actually been to a concert, but he's got a band going and stuff like that. But for him to have this just by himself, I really think that I look forward every time he puts something out. And I know you guys do as well.
Well, I think the good thing about his music is that it can teach a simple lesson,
right,
or make more complex commentary. And so maybe you can slap a stereotype on me, but as a woman, I'm reading a lot, a little more into it. But I do like your country western take on it, and that's probably where he's coming from.
Well, that's the beauty of his music. I completely I agree with you. That's the beauty of his. You can be as shallow or as deep as you want to be with his lyrics and his music.
Like where people aren't so damn strange. I mean, come on.
Right.
I mean, because it feels like that in and of itself is a commentary on today's society. Just it's hard to make friends because you're like, oh God, how weird are they going to be?
Right.
Like, would they curse me for who am I voting for? Like how many area, because it's hard to truly be friends with someone and feel like you can't talk to them.
Right.
So.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's kind of, it is kind of interesting when you're meeting a new couple and obviously you're avoiding, what are the big three? Religion, politics, and
money.
Money? Okay, yeah, that makes sense. But so you're kind of avoiding those. But then they're Jewish, and so are you upset, or what side are you leaning? Because there's Israelis and Jews that are pro-Palestine, and there's Jews that are like, hey, look, we're just fending for ourselves. How do you broach that conversation? So they're you're stepping in and dipping your toe in sometimes, and it's hard.
One thing may not necessarily tell you the other.
Yeah, exactly. So, but we love his music. We know you guys do. Please leave in the comments below what you think, some of the lyrics meant. Some of our past videos, we had some really good comments, and I had a lot of fun answering them and talking to them back and forth. Some of the comments went on, conversations went on, 7-8 threads, and so he was very pleased about that. But yeah, please give us a like, and we love Oliver Anthony music. We know you do too as well. So thank you for tuning in to Azimuth Podcast.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for listening. If you enjoy our show with all the stories we share, we would love your support.
And it's as easy as clicking that subscribe or follow button. This will ensure you never miss an episode and keeps us bringing you these important stories. Your support makes a huge difference. Thank you so much for being part of our podcast family.
Thanks, and keep tuning in.